pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just remember. Just remember. Just remember. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just remember. Just remember. Just remember. Just remember.
We can talk about it after.
Rant over.
After what seemed like a most entertaining race last week at Road America, we return to the ovals and more high-octane action here with the iRacing Series. And this week, we are back again with the Rowdy Energy Cup Series. A fantastic league, for those that don't know, for the hardest of drivers, but with the most respect. Good evening, everybody. My name is Sam Kubena here with ESPN. Joined alongside me once again in the ESPN booth is one Mr. Tony Trapasso. Tony, last week we saw a dominant win by Frank Marchese at the Road America road course, but it's going to be a much different story when we head back to the cookie cutters this week.
The devil came down to Georgia. He was looking for some balls to break. He just flew in from Wisconsin, where he rained out a lobster bake. But yeah, no, you're definitely right. Welcome to Atlanta, folks.
Yeah, and
it's real hot.
It is very, very hot here, and it's going to be a hot and humid race, and we are definitely looking forward to seeing what we have on offer here tonight. It's going to be, well, we know that this track is notorious for being hard on the tires, but this, interestingly, is the first time we've ever been here with the next gen cars here, Tony. Is it going to be much of a different than the current Gen 6 cars, or are we expecting something a bit different here tonight?
Well, the biggest thing I've heard all season is with the aero package that's on this car, it makes it very, very difficult in drafting situations to get the car to turn. And even more so, it's so easy to stall the car out trying to make a pass that you really have to kind of just bomb it into the corner. But, you know, we've seen time and time again that Atlanta can be very punishing on tires, you know, especially with how hot it gets on this track.
Yeah, and it's definitely hot out there today. For some reason, my temperature gauges are showing in Celsius, and that's going to annoy
82 degree Fahrenheit, 118 degree track temperature.
So,
and 85% humidity.
Yeah.
Good luck.
That's going to be pretty tough on the tires. We know this track is going to be hard regardless, as Scott Warren having a bit of a moment there out of two, but it's going to separate the men from the boys. We know the car likes to push up the track. We've just seen that with Nick Kessler right there with Elijah Innes. It's going to be a lot of aero push, and these cars carry a lot of aero, especially underneath the car. It's going to make the car very difficult to control through the corners.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you take a look at it. The only good thing is they're doing 160 laps, and league management, because of the heat that goes into the track here and how punishing it can be on the tires, they're deciding to give them 6 total sets of tires and 1 fast repair. So that's, you know, some heads up thinking by league management on that one.
Absolutely. We've got about 40 seconds left in practice now. Qualifying set to get underway. We've got 18 drivers set to take the green here tonight, and a lot of no new drivers this week, a lot of familiar names. Cody Strom, who made his debut, he had the debut from hell last week at Road America. We'll be looking to do a lot better this week on the oval. Returning to the series after missing the last couple of weeks, Javon Cherry is back in the field. Same for Cedric Hunter, and they will be really fighting it up there with the likes of Scott Warren, JD Woodward, and Greg McConey, who's always ever present. Last week's impressive driver, and probably driver of the night, Shane Newens, is back in again this week, and I have to give a special shout out to Newens. Had such a heartbreak on that last restart after the competition caution.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was from the tail to the front, and then, you know, put back in the outhouse. A little bit of a surprise going on right now. Last week's winner, Frank Marchese, had to reset his stuff to get back into the server, and he's still not back.
No, he's not. So we're waiting to see if he can get back in at this moment, as Greg LeBlanc is the first driver out of pit road, it seems. So we're going to focus on him for the time being in that Petro Canada number 27, and had a very up and down race, did Greg LeBlanc. He finished in the top 5 in the end, but very incident filled there for the Canadian.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm taking a look at the other Canadian in the field right now. That's Mark McFadden in the BIC number 5. Again, beautifully prepared Ford Mustang. That one is. As don't look now, but Scott Warren might have a throughput here in the next couple of seconds. 4-digit ping with a quality in the single digits. So we might be missing Scott Warren for at least qualifying.
Yeah, going back to Mark McFadden.
And there he goes.
Yeah, he's gone. As we go back to Mark McFadden, grabbed himself a big real-life win at the weekend. Very impressive for himself, despite his tender age. Still picking up wins in real-life racing, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that looked like another beautifully prepared car. So it's not just his sim gear that, is top quality and top prepared. His real-world stuff, it looked top-notch from what I could see.
Yeah, it looked like a shell-driven, like a composite version of a modern-day stock car, if that's the right thing to say, and picked up a big win at the weekend. One person looking for a big result this weekend is Connor Trafari. Had a very, just like Greg LeBlanc, had a very up and down race. Really put Frank Marchese under pressure for the win last week at Road America. We'll be looking to go that one step further here at Atlanta as he goes to the top of the board with a, well, I can't see the time at the moment, with a 30.99. Great time for him.
Yeah, absolutely. As Brandon Lowe's jumps to the top of the pile, Mark McFadden currently sitting third, and that was a Hornet class car, Sam.
Oh wow, okay.
So a four-cylinder, basically a four-cylinder late model.
Ah, interesting. It's always nice to learn about new types of cars, and Hornet class cars are definitely new to me anyway. As JD Woodward finishes his qualifying run, he gets P4 right now. Nick Kessler, who was fastest in the hot lap sessions, he's out on track right now, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. Is turning and burning as he's going for it. As bear with me a second, I just lost my. There we go. And yeah, Kessler bringing it down to start a second lap now. First lap good enough for 8th quick, as still Newen sitting atop the pile. Elijah Innes sitting outside row number 1, and a handful of drivers so far in the sub-31s, which is very impressive for this car.
Brandon Lowe's looking for his first pole of the season since he made his debut a few weeks ago, but this man's going to be looking to take over it. He only gets P4 though. That is a very disappointing second lap for Nick Kessler. Will not be happy with that one despite being top in practice.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not the lap he was hoping for, as Jason Papp out on track right now getting ready to finish his second lap, and that's going to improve on his time, but not his position, as Papp's going to roll off 9th so far.
So Papp in the top 10. Well, he just immediately got pushed out to P10 because the man that just replaced him in that top 10 is Jovan Cherry. He jumps up to P3 in that Rowdy Energy Toyota Camry. Great time there for the the most winningest driver of the season so far.
And it's kind of to be expected because, Cherry does do very well on the 1.5 miles. So good to see him back. Good to see him, laying one down in qualifying. Good news for the fans of the number 76, Scott Warren. He is back in the session. Bad news for fans of Frank Marchese. He is not in the session as qualifying runs out.
Yeah, so qualifying is over. We are about to head over to the grid, so get yourselves buckled in. We have a nice, fun race for you right now. It's 160 laps around here at Atlanta, and let's get this underway, shall we? Let's go to the grid for this one. 18 drivers set to take this one as we get underway here tonight. And starting up on the pole will be Brandon Lowe's. He'll be joined on the front row by Elijah Innes. Row 2 will be Javon Cherry and Greg McConey. Row 3 will be Nick Kessler. Probably not going to be happy with that one after being top in practice. Colin Trafari will join him on the third row. Row 4 will be JD Woodward and Mark McFadden. And rounding out your top 10 here at Atlanta will be Greg LeBlanc and Jason Paptoni.
Cody Storm and Kyle Klott's going to roll off in row 6. Row 7 brings us Cedric Hunter and Brandon Wilson. Scott Warren and Ryan Worley going to roll off in row 8. And starting shotgun on the field is going to be Shay Newens in the 98. Frank Marchese has not shown back up.
Unfortunate there for Frank Marchese. He will not take the green, it looks like, and that will be disappointed. The one saving grace he will have, though, is that he did lock himself into the playoffs last week, so this will count as probably a drop week for him. I'm seeing a very smart Marlboro car right there. I don't normally promote smoking brands on racing cars because you're not allowed to these days, but that car near the back there, I believe that might be Brandon Wilson, sporting a very smart Marlboro car at the back there.
I like that. And speaking of Marlboro cars, there was a very sharp-looking Group C2 car at Goodwood this past weekend that laid down a hell of a lap for one of those cars.
Yeah, say what you will about tobacco sponsorship. I know it's banned worldwide these days, but you can't help but think that those sponsorships put out the prettiest cars in the world. Obviously, the Penske cars, the McLaren cars, and obviously the Ferraris of the racing world. They had the most beautiful cars out there with those kind of sponsorships on there.
Am I seeing what I think I'm seeing starting next to him?
That would be the 13 of Cedric Hunter, who has some sort of anime car on him.
Powerpuff Girls. The last time we saw a Powerpuff Girls car on this channel, it walked away with the win, so good luck, Ced.
Yep, speaking of luck, we're about to get ready to go in this one as Tony, you love to get these races started, so why not get us started here again tonight?
Well, field working his way through the 3-4 complex as Brandon Lowe's has the button. The only thing that's left to do is pull the belts tighter one more time, adjust the visor, make sure the steering wheel's on tight as the pace car makes that hard left turn onto pit road. Race fans, it's showtime!
As they all file off in towards turn 1 right now, it's going to be Brandon Lowe's leading them down towards that first corner. And who's going to get the run in? It's going to be Javon Cherry getting that inside line, followed by Connor Trafari. It looks like Elijah Innes getting hung up on the high side. One in the wall already back there. I think that was Cody Strom in the wall back there.
Yeah, as he hip checked the 13 of Cedric Hunter, that could have ended a lot more poorly than it did. Right now, up towards the front, top 4 in a single file, 2 wide behind him.
And that was actually Carl Kloss that hit the wall on the previous lap, so unfortunately he's going to have to deal with that damage. No fast repairs in this one as Trafari getting it all wrong through 1 and 2. And they do have one fast repair, I do apologise. Trafari getting it all wrong through 1 and 2. That's let Kessler take the outside line here, and that is probably going to be the strongest line around here, Tony. The outside line does carry a lot of speed if you get it right up there.
Yeah, absolutely, but the thing is they've got to get some rubber laid down there, and they don't have it down there yet, as J.D. Woodward all over the back of Connor Trafari, finally getting backed off, as he's now got to deal with the 68 of Elijah Innes, your outside front row starter, as he's finally got that Tag Heuer Chevy Camaro wound up.
Yeah, and he's starting to make progress. He's already got the move done on Woodward. Very close to the wall there was the 68 of Elijah Innes. Did keep it going though, and did keep it out the wall. Most importantly, he moves his way back up to the top 5. But at the moment, it's Brandon Lowe's in that number 25 leads us into the 4th lap, and has not let anybody by yet. Javon Cherry, probably the most patient driver in the field. That's probably why he's won so much. We'll be happy to just stick there behind the 25 and just let him meet.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a little bit further back in the field. Greg Marconi was trying to get a run on Mark McFadden. They almost had a meeting of the minds coming off of 2. McFadden able to keep it wound up, and he brought the 501 of Brandon Wilson with him. Marconi has lost a little bit of headway as he's now battling with Greg LeBlanc for 9th.
Yep, and look at this in front of him. J.D. Woodward getting a piece of the apron there, almost going up into the side of Elijah Innes and almost taking out Mark McFadden at the same time. They are racing hard, but racing clean at the moment. This is going to be one hectic race here tonight. And already, once again, Brandon Wilson putting moves on Greg LeBlanc here. And getting ahead, it'll be right on the back as here comes Elijah Innes to the back of Connor Trafari. He's really on the move now and wants to make his way back up to the front.
Absolutely. Innes able to keep it wound up on that high side. That's Innes on the high side, Trafari on the low side. And the only thing that Trafari is going to be doing by staying on that low side and not letting Innes go is burning off that right front tire as he's starting to stack them up behind him, as that is Woodward and McFadden going door to door.
Yeah, and no love lost between those two. They've done battle all season long, and they're doing it again here as Wilson trying to find a way by as well. They're probably one of the most unlucky drivers in the field this season, just not had it all his own way as he sails around the outside of McFadden out of turn 2. And again, like I said at the start of the race, that outside line coming into play already.
Elijah Innes catching the turn 3 wall as he was trying to follow Nick Kessler through. Kessler with a nose out front coming through the quad oval. Give the lap to Kessler at the stripe.
Good run there for Kessler. Probably wasn't too happy with his qualifying position, but definitely making up for it right now. Really working on the outside of Javon Cherry. Did have that lap led at the end of lap 7. Does slot into second place now after working the outside of the number 20. And now we'll set his sights on getting that pass fully done on that Great Clips number 25 of Brandon Lowe's.
Connor Trafari was looking like he was making it, or wanted to make it 3 wide for 3rd. Coming into turn number 3, thought better of it. Way too early to be making that happen. As right now, Javon Cherry slots in behind Brandon Lowe's. Nick Kessler sitting there on the high side. And that last time at the stripe, you could give that one to Kessler again as still drag race into turn number 3.
Yeah. Lots of drag racing going on right now. J.D. Woodward has moved his way back up to the top 5 at the expense of Elijah Innes, who is recovering from that wall hit a couple of laps ago. You see Greg LeBlanc in the background there trying to find a gap around the 68, but doesn't find it at the moment. J.D. Woodward, though, is starting to close up on the back of Connor Trafari and Javon Cherry. And Cherry starting to fall back slightly, and this is the patience that I was talking about with the 20. He'll be happy to lose some positions as long as he's back up there somewhere near the end of the race. He doesn't mind falling all the way to the back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the most patient drivers in the field is Javon Cherry, as a little bit of issues going on back towards a little bit further back in the field, as Marconi giving somebody the business on chat as race control. And it looks like, yes it is, it's LeBlanc was doing something a little hinky as he kind of bulldozed his way through everybody to gain a couple positions. Brandon Wilson up into 7th.
Are we really going to give him the nickname the Canadian Bulldozer?
So get your hate mail coming, folks. That's Sam Cooper Bennett, care of ESBN Towers, Cork, Ireland, P.O. Box 00812.
Yeah, and just got confirmation there of Marchese's DNS. His internet completely dropping out there and dropping him out of the race completely. So unfortunate there for Marchese. Like I said, he probably used this as a drop week, as he did lock himself into the playoffs with that win last week at Road America, as we're looking at the battle between Greg LeBlanc and Elijah Innes, and Innes just saving it. We might see a caution here as he's into the wall. We do not see a caution. Green stays out, but a very scary moment there by the 68.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a little bit of contact coming out of turn 2, and unfortunately Innes he just got it a little bit loose on the exit of 2, and I don't think there was contact.
I might have just taken the air off his bumper as we're going back to JD Woodward right now, under pressure from Brandon Wilson, and Nick Kessler losing the lead to Javar. No, that's Brandon Lowe's, I apologise, and a lot changing up at the front, but yeah, it looked like Elijah Innes just simply had the air taken off his bumper, and that is enough to turn that car around.
Which is very easy to do with this car, considering that, yes, there is underbody aero with that diffuser at the back, but if you take a look at the rear blade on the trunk lid of this car, that's one of the smallest rear spoilers that we have seen in a long time on a Cup car.
Yeah, and I guess with the underbody aero, they probably don't need the big wing on the back, so they're probably just using it to countermeasure the aero coming from underneath and just use it over the top, as we've got an incident there for Cody Strom. He's had a off track somewhere, and he's just getting back up to speed. I think he might have just gone through the grass coming through the tri-oval, or the quad oval, sorry.
Safe bet.
We get a replay there.
Meanwhile,
sorry, carry on.
They're still slamming it hard and heavy at the front of this thing, as Brandon Lowe's on the low side, Javon Cherry working that second lane, trying to save a little bit of right side tires, as Nick Kessler continues to fall back into the clutches of the 47 of JD Woodward, who has made his way up into the number 4 slot. Brandon Wilson sitting right behind him for 5th, as they've got a 2.5 second gap back to Connor Trafari in 6th.
Yeah, big 5-car breakaway there for those guys. Trafari just on an island all by himself, actually. He's got a bit of a gap over Cedric Hunter now, but Hunter and Warren, who's right behind him, are going to be looking to close that gap as quickly as possible, as Mohamed Fadden looks almost losing the back end, coming through 3 and 4. Very, very good save there by the number 5.
And we've been seeing that a lot. It's on corner exit that these guys seem to be struggling a little bit, not really able to get the power down like they want to, and the thing is, they've got to be real careful, because there is a big bump coming off of 2, and there's another one coming off of 4, where the banking of the corner transitions to the straightaway. Got to be real careful, and if you try to lay the power down too quick and hit that bump just right, you're going for a ride, not in the fun time. As we've got a new leader.
Yes, we do. I was just about to mention that. Javon Cherry now at the front in the number 20 Toyota Camry. I thought it was a Rowdy Energy, but it's actually I don't know what that is. I think that's a TRD. It's a Toyota Care Camry. I don't know why I said it was a Rowdy Energy one. It looked very similar to one, but it's not.
He's run that Rowdy Energy sponsorship before. And, of course, you are watching the iRacing East Series Rowdy Energy Cup Series. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, share, turn on bell notifications, call your neighbor, call your mom, call your dad, and say, hey, you got to see this. And don't forget to hit the like button, because it really helps with the YouTube algorithm to try to bring this to the masses.
Absolutely. As the top 5 now coming up on lap traffic, that is Shane Newens in front of them. Newens just taking it down pit road. Oh! Yellow flag is in the air, and it's Greg McConey in trouble.
No, that's Mark McFadden.
And Greg McConey's in trouble as well. Go back and take a look and see what happened there between the 5 and the 12. And that was Scott Warren, came back up on the track right in front of McFadden, spooked him a little bit, came down the track to avoid it, and went straight into the side of McConey. So Warren, losing it coming out of turn 2, came back up on the track, spooked out the 5, and then just all went downhill from there.
You can't blame that all on Scott Warren, because that actually started with Connor Trafari having to chase it down the hill going into Warren's door. And then all hell broke loose with McFadden and Marconi tagging the turn 3 wall. But yeah, that all started with Connor Trafari getting loose coming off of 2. He hit that bump, and he had to chase it down the hill. Unfortunately, Scott Warren was there.
I'm going to go take a look back at it. It was looking with Colin Trafari coming through 1 and 2. And you're right, Trafari just losing the back end there. Didn't really have control of the car there. And just went into the side of Warren. Warren came back up on the track right in front of McFadden. McFadden got spooked and McConey just had nowhere to go. So that whole melee just caused by a bit of a scary moment there by the 48.
Yeah, absolutely. As everybody going down pit road, except for Elijah Innes, electing to stay out. Only 22 laps on this current tank of fuel, but there's definitely some tire fall off here tonight. So, going to be interesting to see what happens with Innes here when we go back. If he decides not to just go down pit road and tag on to the tail end.
And let's not forget, he does have that damage as well from hitting the turn 3 wall, so he might go in there and burn a fast repair while he's at it. So he's going to come down pit road now and get that attention. Carl Klotz is going to follow him down as well. So everybody going to make it down to pit road. It looks like McConey and McFadden have made it back into pit road. They managed to creep it back into pit road and get that fast repair done. So they are back out on track as well. But first caution, only 22 laps in. Very good racing so far here, Tony. Very impressed with these guys once again.
Oh, absolutely. These guys usually put on a good show. I mean, you see a lot of give and take early on. A lot of hard racing, but a lot of clean racing so far anyways. And it looks like everybody except Scott Warren only took 4 in fuel. Jason Papp spent an extended amount of time in his pit stall. It looks like he may have been popped for speeding in.
So Papp...
and Worley.
Yeah, Worley down there as well. So the dudes racing drivers, either it's a penalty or they're using a bit of strategy there to make sure their fuel tank is completely topped off and they're on top form, ready to go, because obviously Worley and Papp are teammates. The other two teammates in that team, Brandon Wilson and Greg McConey, well, we've seen what happened to McConey. He was involved in that caution. Brandon Wilson, though, is the top driver in that team, still running in that top 5 in that Marlboro Chevrolet.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, currently sitting in the top 5, so good run for Wilson. As Javon Cherry won the battle off pit road, he's going to be starting on the front row with Nick Kessler. Brandon Lowe's and J.D. Woodward going to make up row number 2. So, good run for the 47.
As I believe lights have not gone out yet on the pace car. Actually, they have gone out on the pace car, so we are ready to go racing once again here at Atlanta. And like I said, some very good racing amongst the drivers so far here tonight, and very much looking forward to seeing what more they can throw on, with plenty of racing left to go as they come through turns 3 and 4. Javon Cherry opting for that inside line going to have the button when we go back to green. Now, there is going to be a moment in time where people are going to pick that outside line and prefer that outside line for the restarts, but for now, Javon Cherry opting for that inside line as they come through turn 4. Pace car will make the left turn on towards pit road right about now, and now Javon Cherry has the button. We are going to go racing once again on lap 25 of 160. We are green, and Nick Kessler, a fantastic restart on that outside line. Javon Cherry probably regretting not starting out there.
Oh, the thing is, I don't know if Kessler jumped the start or not. Looks like he may have, because he's immediately dropping back and letting those guys go. So Kessler giving up the spot, thinking that maybe he might get popped, as Cherry, Lowe's, Woodward, Wilson, your top 4 right now.
That they are. So Cherry out in front, Woodward up the highest he's been all night long in 3rd place. Brandon Wilson up to 4th. Jafari in the top 5 as well, despite the incident he had to bring out the caution. But here comes Cedric Hunter. Big dive down the inside of the young man in the 48, and he moves his way up to the top 5. And how we have missed this from Cedric Hunter. Been missing for a while. Good to see him back out there again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he had a big moment at the beginning of the race, but able to recover. Currently sitting inside the top 5. So great run for that Ford Mustang. As here comes Trafari back to his inside, thinks better of it coming through the quad oval, as Wilson and Hunter have a little bit of a head of steam as the Wilson slips up going through 1.
Yeah, and Hunter having to go side by side with Jafari as Javon Cherry. A very big dive to the inside, trying to defend that line from Brandon Lowe's, giving him absolutely nothing to work with as they're coming towards turn 3. Big defensive moves already here tonight.
That's the first time I've ever seen the Indy Snake done at Atlanta, as Wilson up into the number 3 slot, the 47 of Woodward, down on that low line, and that doesn't appear to be where you want to be tonight, as that second lane really starting to pay dividends this early.
That it is, as Javon Cherry still holding on. Cedric Hunter back up to P4 again. Trapari still holding on to the last spot in the top 5. JD Woodward starting to struggle now. He has Cody Strom right behind him. And now, I said at the start of the broadcast, Cody Strom will be looking for a better result here tonight. Doing well so far, sitting in P7 ahead of Greg LeBlanc. Jason Papp back up to the top 10. Ryan Worley in the top 10 as well. Nick Kessler, after his restart, has dropped outside the top 10. Is currently sitting P11.
Not exactly sure what's going on with the 4 of Kessler, but yeah, he has dropped back behind the 00 of Worley, and works to the inside of Worley, coming off a 4, as they're side by side going into 1.
That they are, as we continue this one, as Worley on the outside, Kessler on the inside, and Jason Pam blocking that one as Worley gets into it with Kessler, and somebody else got involved in that as well. I think it might have been Scott Warren. No, it wasn't.
Ennis. Elijah Ennis was the other one that got into that one, and there's no caution.
There is not a caution at all, as they all kind of went out onto the infield there, as we go back to the front of the field and look at this gaggle of cars right here, all bunched up together, looking for the top spot here. Javon holding on for dear life, as here comes Cedric Hunter now, looking at the inside of Brandon Wilson.
Wilson on the high side, Hunter on the inside, as they work their way off of turn number 4. It's going to be a drag race between the two of them for that number 3 slot. Give it to the Mustang at the stripe, as Hunter wrestles the spot away, and here comes Trafari in the 48.
The reigning Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series champion, looking to put more results on in this Rowdy Energy Cup Series, and definitely doing it so far here this season, as Hunter going very, very wide there through turns 3 and 4. Gonna lose him a lot of momentum, especially to the top 2 who've now broken away.
Javon Cherry, Brandon Lowe's about 3 car lengths to the good, as right now Connor Trafari has his rearview mirror filled with the 48 of JD Woodward. Woodward finally backing out of it as Trafari goes side by side with Wilson down the back straightaway.
I can't help but think that Cedric Hunter is doing that, running that line intentionally, the line we like to call the Larson line, trying to save some tyres, it looks like, trying to use as the least amount of track as possible.
Well, he had to have seen something after the pit stop. The crew may have looked over those right side tires and said, hey, you need to run for a little bit further up the track, because you were burning them off during that first 20 lap run. Currently 12 laps into this fuel stint, working lap 34, getting ready to start lap 35 of 160 here at Hotlanta. Javon Cherry continues to show the way, but his rearview mirror filled with pole sitter Brandon Lowe's, number 25.
And Lowe's not letting him get away, as we've had an incident for Shane Newens. He's off the track through the quad oval. Scott Warren and Carl Klott's going to go by him, but the Australian not having a good night here tonight. He already went a lap down during that last caution, and we've had a problem for JD Woodward. He's had an internet drop.
He has?
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he has. 4-digit ping with a single-digit quality. That's the part of iRacing that nobody likes to see. And there he goes, finally gets the disconnect, so he can come back into the server at his leisure now. But right now, Brandon Wilson and Connor Trafari still in lockstep, as Trafari finally wrestles the spot away as Wilson tries to reel him back in, and has to deal with the 26 of Strom and the 27 of LeBlanc who's making some headway finally.
Yeah, good run for Strom so far. Knocking on the door of the top 5. We'll be looking to the inside of Wilson, coming through turns 1 and 2. And doesn't quite have the pace right now to stay with the back. Bit further back though, we've got a bit of a battle going on between Kessler and McConey. Side by side down the backstretch. We've got Elijah Innes, Mark McFadden, and Jason Papp right there as well. We've got 2 distinct packs right now. Make that 3 if you count the breakaway from Javon Cherry and Brandon Lowe's.
Yeah, there's a 4-second gap between Greg LeBlanc and the 27 back to this battle between Marconi and Kessler. Just over 3.5 seconds between those battles. And, that's Atlanta. Whoa, Jason Papp had a big moment coming off a 2S chase down the track. Luckily, nobody there, so he's able to get it collected back up, but he is going to fall back behind this battle for the 8th spot as Marconi has it rustled away, and here comes Innes to the inside of Kessler.
Yeah, and it's showing a lot of pace in that number 68, despite the incident he had earlier, having to take evasive action to avoid Ryan Worley. Still keeping him right up there and still battling inside the last spots of the top 10 as we go back to this battle between, well, it's not a battle anymore, as Brandon Wilson's really fallen off the back of Trafari and now has to fend off Strom and LeBlanc, as Trafari's really gotten away now, as Cedric Hunter has now joined the battle for the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's a 3-car breakaway at the front, about half a straightaway to the good over 4th place Connor Trafari. Trafari, no drafting help as Hunter throws it to the inside of Lowe's going into turn number 3.
Yeah, big diving move there by the 13. He might get the job done through the corner. It's the lowest on the track we've seen him in quite some time, and that's because he's making a move on Lowe's. Is he going to try and sneak one on the inside of Javon Cherry as well? The answer is no. He's just going to work on them one by one at this moment as he works on trying to get around Brandon Lowe's. Might get it this time on the exit of turn 2. Does have the better speed. Comes up the track with a slight slide job down. Lowe's gets a bit out of shape, but still drag race up towards turn 3.
Lowe's with a big wiggle coming off a 2, able to keep it collected, and Hunter kind of got pinched down a little bit there, wasn't able to let the car run, finally lets Lowe's go, drops him behind him, going to try to take another run at him, but all that battling has let Javon Cherry get about a 3-car length lead over those 2.
Yeah, Cherry might be looking in his rearview mirror and absolutely smiling from ear to ear, seeing those 2 battling behind him, because that'll help him get away. He hasn't got away right now. He's still very much in lockstep with the 25 and the 13, but Cherry, Lowe's and Hunter. Now this is an interesting battle that we're seeing here, Tony. All 3 cars from all 3 manufacturers battling out for the race lead here. This is what NASCAR fans come to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is really it shows the parity between these cars. Now, granted, yes, in the iRacing server, it's the same car just with a different body model, but they give it the same physics model. In the real world, we have yet to see what this is going to happen. They're going 3 wide. Wow.
Now they are out of turn 3. It could end all in tears as Lowe's has to back out of it and let Cedric Hunter have it. Now, this is a battle we've been waiting for all race long. Cedric Hunter versus Javon Cherry. No love lost between these 2. They've been going at it all season long.
Yeah, absolutely not. The Ford camp definitely not happy with the Toyota camp in this case, as Hunter right now just stalking Cherry as they've got a 5-car length gap back to 3rd place of Brandon Lowe's. And Lowe's may have burned his stuff off as we're working lap 22 of this fuel run. 44 laps in the books now. As there we go, Hunter to the inside of Cherry in the middle of 1 and 2.
Great move there by the 13. Can he make a stick down? Big sideways movement there for Hunter as he collects it back up, able to keep the speed underneath him, but could have almost ended in tears there for him.
Connor Trafari just had a similar move as he's going to hemorrhage spots now.
And Brandon Wilson's starting to lose spots as well. He's just been passed by his teammate Greg McConey. Elijah Innes is right behind him as well as he's caught up to these guys. Cody Strom Now inside the top 5 in P4. Greg LeBlanc in P5. Brandon Lowe's is going to be looking to get that position back. But Hunter is really putting Javon Cherry under that pressure, despite that little incident he had about a lap ago.
Yeah, absolutely. No quarter asked for, no quarter given. As here comes Brandon Lowe's back in the Great Clips number 25.
So we carry on racing here as Cherry still struggling to hold Cedric Hunter behind him, in a big slide there by the 20 coming out of turn 2 might give Hunter the advantage going into 3, but Hunter staying in lockstep with the 20. Gonna dive it down low now through turn 4. Is he going to get the move done on the exit? He's got the better speed as he comes alongside the 20. Will try and take that lead away down in the line. Give that lap to Javon Cherry, but literally by a bumper. Hunter's still going to hold on down the bottom of the track, as now he might have the position, he might have the speed. He gets a big slide job going on. Will get the nose down in front, as now Lowe's gets it all wrong coming out of turn 2.
Lowe's had to really chase it down the track there, coming off of 2, as Hunter not able to get the power down off of 2. That's going to let Cherry keep it wound up in that second lane. And that's something we've seen all season in this car. The second lane is able to defend a lot better than the inside, and we're under caution.
Mark McFadden. Yeah, McFadden in trouble once again as we have our second caution of the night here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Oh!
As we're going to go back and take a look at the replay of that one. It's going to be between McFadden and Warren. And, 2 minds meeting in the middle there, I think, Tony.
Yeah,
That was just hard racing, that one.
Yeah, it was. I'm kind of trying to see who could be blamed on, if anybody, as
I mean, it could be either driver not paying attention to the spotters. That probably could be what the blame is, but I can't really see any singular blame in that one. That was just simply a racing incident between the two. As
well, if you follow it with a high-speed drone off of Nick Kessler's car, you can see Warren kind of came up the track just ever so slightly and caught McFadden in the quarter panel.
Let's go back and watch that. As no, that won't be it. Oh, come on now. There we go. Yep, and there it is. It looks like Warren came slightly up the track. And
yeah, I mean, it wasn't a big move. It was just mistimed it.
Pretty much. But we are gonna go back to the on-track action now, as I believe we have pit lane action going on right now.
Kessler just slid through his pit stall, as did Elijah Innes. And wholesale pit stops as Javon Cherry winning the battle off pit road. Looks like 4 tires and a fresh tank can go fast for everybody.
Yeah, and you got to expect that around here. This track is not easy to keep the tires underneath you. So these guys, well, the tires were probably screaming out for a well-earned break. And speaking of screaming out for a well-earned break, we're going to take one ourselves as we are on lap 51 of 160. We're just over 100 laps to go in this one, but we're going to head our ways to the little driver's room. We'll be right back in just a couple of seconds. Do not go anywhere. Go anywhere. I can speak, I promise. We'll be right back with more action.
Just say when. And we're back at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Rowdy Energy Cup Series. Right now, lights are out on the pace car. Javon Cherry was winning the battle off pit road. He's going to be starting up on the front row with Brandon Lowe's. Field working its way through the 3-4 complex. The pace car getting ready to make that hard left turn onto pit road. Cherry going to have the button one more time as there goes the pace car. And there goes the green flag, and there goes the field as we are back underway. Lowe's not getting the restart he was hoping for. Cherry not getting this restart he was hoping for. As Lowe's able to make it happen on the high side as here comes Cedric Hunter to the inside. Working side by side with Lowe's down the back straightaway. Connor Trafari looking to make it 3 wide, thinking better of it as Cherry runs up to block Lowe's going into 3. Hunter and Trafari side by side as they work their way through the 3-4 complex one more time. That's Hunter on the inside, Trafari on the high side, as Lowe's giving Cherry all he can handle right now for the lead. Meanwhile, Trafari able to wrestle the number 3 slot away from the 13 of Hunter, as Hunter now has to work with the 76 of Scott Warren, trying to fend off the This Is War Ford Mustang.
Yeah, and Warren making his way slowly up the field. He's up to P4 now. It looks like the Canadian looking to punch his way forward. We've got an incident in the back there. That is LeBlanc in trouble. Caution's going to come out here. There's a big crash here for the 27 and the 68 here.
And that might be the end of the night for the tag hour number 68, as LeBlanc looks like he may have, may have caught the apron there. Oh. No, he caught the outside wall going into 3.
Yeah, that was a very, very violent incident for both the 27 and the 68 as LeBlanc probably going to have to take it down pit road. Actually, LeBlanc is going to put it on the hauler almost immediately, so he is done for the night.
Jeepers. Elijah Innes just caught a race car to the face.
That he did, and Innes is going to get it back to pit road, but that is a pretty hefty amount of damage on that Tag Heuer number 68.
Now, the big question is, has he already burned his fast repair? And the answer is
yes.
Yes. So look for extended time on pit road for the number 68. Now, the good news is it is going to be a top 15 finish, but not the finish he was hoping for by a long shot. As don't look for anybody to really come down pit road this time, as everybody, that was lap 2 under anger after the last time they've been down pit road, and they've already on their 3rd set of tires tonight.
Yeah, so we won't expect anybody down pit road just yet, as like Tony said, we will have they'll have a lot of life left on those tires as we're looking overhead on Jason Papp and Ryan Worley. There's Nick Kessler in the 4. We go back to the front right there. There is the quartet that got that one, and Scott Warren. Great restart for him that last time around. That actually looks like Cedric Hunter is fallen to the back of the field. Now we've got a problem here for the 13.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, as his ping and his quality are both really where they need to be as far as connection issues. So that doesn't seem to be the problem for the Canadian, but there he goes back up where he should be. Looks like he may have just had to do something real quick, as Hunter in the 13 now right there with Marconi in row 3 as the lights go out on the pace car one more time.
Yeah, we're ready to go racing again for this one. We've had 3 cautions here tonight, all 3 of them all caused by just small niggling incidents. Actually, that last one was pretty violent, I will have to say. So unfortunate for Innes and LeBlanc. LeBlanc on the hauler, Innes taking an extended repair trip to pit road. But here we go again. Javon Cherry going to have to do it all over again on the bottom line. Can Brandon Lowe's get a better restart than he did last time. He did get a good restart, but just didn't quite get the edge on Cherry. We'll be looking to do that even better this time around as they come out of turn 4. Pace car will make the left turn onto pit road, and we will be ready to go racing once again. As there goes the pace car. Cherry has the button. Let's see what Lowe's can do on that high side. Green flag in the air once again. We are racing once again as we head towards turn 1.
Cherry gets a little bit better of a restart that time, and I'm wondering if anybody actually told him that the leader controls the restarts here, as Lowe's now has to deal with the 76 of Scott Warren, as here comes the 48 of Connor Trafari again, right there on that high line, right in lockstep with Brandon Lowe's. As they haul it off into turn number 3, that's Cherry still with a nose out front.
Yeah, and just want to point out again, Scott Warren still looking for his first race win since the opening round of Daytona. It's been 19 races since then now, and still not had a second win on the season. Still locked into the playoffs though, so we'll be happy with that one at least. But we'll, as any other racer, you know this as well as I do, Tony, it's always nice to win a race despite being locked into the season-ending races.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, you are going to get a bonus point for 4 race wins. As right now the battle for the lead, hot and heavy. That's Lowe's on the high side, Cherry on the inside. Give it to Lowe's coming across the stripe. As Cherry got pinched down coming off of 4, and Lowe's was able to keep it wound up on that top side. And speaking of top side, Cedric Hunter going to that third lane yet again, looking to hopefully try to save some tires as this run wears on.
I will say that Italian flag on the front of Lowe's car is bothering me. There's obvious reasons for that, and anybody in the chat can tell me why. We'll get a crisp high five from me.
Ooh, Mr. Carter.
Yeah, what is it?
If you Google yesterday's match, watch what they do with the graphic on that screen. They show fireworks.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the racing. Oh God, Brandon Lowe's is fighting his compatriot Scott Warren right now for that second spot, and Warren still pushing the issue on that bottom line. Moves up ever so slightly to get some air to the engine. Cedric Hunter right with him. Trafari right with him. Looking's up there as well. Ryan Worley making a push to the front as well now.
Yeah, absolutely. As he had to take last week off due to having a final exam in school to have to attend to the following day. It's good to see Worley back in the field, as right now Brandon Lowe's with the nose out front is the battle for second, hot and heavy between Trafari and Cherry. And here comes Warren to try to shuffle Trafari back one more position, as Cherry was able to wrestle the spot away going into 1, just full send it mode for the number 20. As Warren and Trafari still in lockstep for third.
Yeah, and once again, we've said it a couple of times here tonight, no love lost between those two. They've been to war more than once this season, and Warren winning that little battle that time around. As here comes Cedric Hunter, Ryan Worley getting into the wall there at the expense of his own positions there. He's going to fall to the back and still in the wall through turn 2. Trouble here for the 0-0.
Yeah, absolutely. That was not the run he was hoping for. Banged the wall going into 1, and he had to chase it all the way around. Banged the wall coming off of 2, and luckily nobody got into him, as Cedric Hunter work on the outside of Connor Trafari right now to wrestle the number 4 slot away from him. And again, we've seen that high side pay dividends even early in the tire run, as they are currently 15 laps in, as wow, that was a big wiggle for I believe that was Strom.
Yeah, Strom having a bit of a moment there. He's got Greg McConey right behind him. He's got Trafari to his inside now. Trafari looks like he might be struggling at the moment, as there comes Strom to his outside through the quad oval. Not going to get the job done this time around, as we've got a big crash in the back somewhere. Newens and Klotz have had an incident there. Oh yeah, there's some very heavily damaged cars there.
Oh wow, yeah, Newens. That Valvoline number 98 has seen better days. heavy damage in the left rear, front end kind of caved in. So, Newen's definitely having a big moment there, coming off of 2, getting into it with Kyle Klotz, and the 19 is just cheese grated the left side of the car.
Yeah, back to the front though. It's all systems go though for Cedric Hunter. He's got the pass done on Javon Cherry, but Scott Warren having to chase it down the track though, and having to recover very quickly. Just saw Javon Cherry just literally have the slightest of scrapes on the wall, but hasn't slowed him down at all. As here comes Cedric Hunter looking to the outside of his compatriot.
Yeah, that's Hunter and Lowe's at the front of this thing, as you can see the different lines that these guys are running and what they're able to do down the straightaway because of it. And you can tell that those higher 2 lines are really paying dividends. You've got about a 3-car length gap now from Hunter back to Cherry. Cherry able to make it up a little bit on corner entry. Tries to get alongside of Hunter coming off of 4. Hunter able to cover him off as these guys battling hot and heavy. And here comes Scott Warren back to the inside of, that's Marconi coming up to the outside of Warren.
Yeah, Marconi on the move.
Wow.
As here comes Cedric Hunter. Big power move around the outside of the 25, and Lowe's going to fend him off it. Almost contact. Here comes Cherry as well. These guys are not done battling. They will keep it going until the checker flag, or at least until there's another caution, because these guys are throwing hand grenades at each other right now.
And we've got a new leader at the stripe. 8/1000ths of a second. Give it to Cedric Cherry as that last lap. Or I'm sorry, Hunter. Give it to Hunter as Brandon Lowe's had to chase it down the track coming off of 2, and that let Hunter really get a run on him. As right now those 2 in lockstep in that second lane, trying to make something happen on Javon Cherry. Cherry it's sideways,
and just
a little bit of contact.
Yeah, just collects
a little bit of contact.
Yeah, a bit of contact there for Cherry. Just gets it all collected, and that's going to let Jafari up to 3rd place now. Cherry has it all to do to try and get those positions back, as now the leaders are starting to break away once again. That is Brandon Lowe's and Cedric Hunter now up to 3rd place. Jafari, as I've already mentioned, Warren up to P4. Cherry has dropped to P5 now after that sideways moment.
Yeah, as Marconi had to chase it down the track coming off of 2. But this battling that's going on here, back from 3rd on, has let the leaders, the top 2 of Lowe's and Hunter, really get out to about a 3-4 car length lead. Make that 5 car lengths now over 3rd place. Connor Trafari, as Trafari has his rearview mirrors filled with that Ford Mustang of Scott Warren.
Now Warren going to dive into the inside of the 48, coming through 3 and 4 now. These guys again throwing haymakers again, and Javon Cherry just sitting back there watching these guys as they battle out and getting ever closer, as now Lowe's having a bit of a problem through the quad oval, it seems.
Yeah, Lowe's had just a little bit of a wiggle coming off of 4 and was trying to collect it. And he's had a little bit of a wiggle off of 2 as well. Hunter, though, just sitting right there in lockstep with him, just kind of silently stalking the 25. Hunter is able to, he got his bonus point for leading a lap, as Brandon Lowe's right now looking to get that 2nd bonus point for, or 3rd bonus point, I should say. 1 for the pole, 1 for leading a lap, and the other 1 for leading the most laps, as Lowe's trying to work on that little problem right now, as again Trafari and
Cherry.
Yeah, that's Javon Cherry. Scott Warren has fallen back big time.
Yeah, and he's fallen back into the clutches of Cody Strom and Greg McConey. So Warren, I think he's got a bit of right side damage there, so he might have hit the wall somewhere. That might have been why he dropped back a bit.
Oh yeah, the right side of that Ford Mustang is completely pancaked right now, as Strom and Marconi working to his inside. Marconi's been running that low line most of the night. Wow, big move for Jason Papp. He might be having tire issues in that Lucky Charms number 12, as said Hunter has gotten the lead away from the 25 of Brandon Lowe's. Lowe's having problems as he's still hemorrhaging spots.
That he is, and he's lost spots to Cherry and Jafari. Lowe's having a bit of a problem here as it looks like tyres are starting to fall off now completely, as Lowe's completely sideways down at turn 2. There was a bit of an incident behind him as well. I think Scott Warren having another scary moment as well, but Lowe's really struggling on those tyres now, and that might be why Brandon Wilson brought down pit road just a minute ago. These tyres are cooked.
Yeah, absolutely. As they're working lap 26 of this tire run, we've got 77 laps in the books. We're still not to the halfway point of 160 laps here tonight at Hotlanta. Track conditions, I mean, we're talking 104-degree track temperature right now. Still 87% relative humidity. So it's muggy, it's hot, it's sticky, except when you're on the track, in which case it's hot and greasy.
Absolutely. I just got an update from Mark McFadden, by the way. He goes in the live chat, he goes, "Hey guys, good show. The class I run is our mini stocks." He goes, "Our car is a 92 Nissan 240 SX." So, interesting car choice.
Yeah, I mean, different parts of the country call those different things. Some they're 4-cylinder super stock, some they're mini stock, some places they're Hornet class. Very similar rules packages where it's still a 4-cylinder race car.
That it is. So, again...
But still a sharp-looking car, Mark. You guys should be proud of that one.
Yeah, should be very proud of your win as well. Very, very, very good result for yourself, and should be very proud of what you achieved at the weekend. As we go back to the battle and a bit further back in the field, and Cody Strong trying to hold on against Scott Warren, who's still, despite the big damage on the right side of his car, showing a lot of speed in that number 76 machine.
Yeah, absolutely. Is everybody right now struggling for grip right now, I've noticed. Strom has had that car sideways more times than he probably dares to say. As Marconi looks to the inside of Warren through 1 and 2, side by side off of turn number 2, and drag race into turn number 3.
Yep, and we are officially halfway in this race as they go in towards turn 3. Going to click over to lap 82 now and look at the lead for Cedric Hunter now. This is the time of the run where your tyres are going to be at probably where they're hurting right now, and where these runs can come into play. Have you saved enough on your tyres? Have you done enough to try and stay out in front? It looks like Hunter and most definitely Javon Cherry have done that. It looks like Jafari and Lowe's still struggling with their tyres right now.
Yeah, especially Lowe's. He's been more squirrely than my ex coming off a 2. Oh! Big slide job coming off a 4. Throws the block on Connor Trafari. Trafari luckily had it spotted and was able to jump on the binders just in time to not hit the 25. As Javon Cherry, again, running that ultra low line. Cedric Hunter running the Larson line, basically that third lane way up at the top, rim riding, if you will. Finally comes down towards the bottom of the track, going through 3 and 4. And Hunter looks like he might have the strongest set of tires in the top 4 right now.
Yeah, and with these tires the way they are, they run the low profile tires on these brand new next gen cars, and just like Formula 1 tires, even though they're on an oval, they do go through a grading process. So they do go through that process, and once that grading process is done, there is a second life to these tires, and they do come back into play. That might be what's going on with Brandon Lowe's right now, because he's picked up speed again.
And for those of you on this side of the pond, what he means by that is you can heat cycle these tires while they're still on the car. You just kind of back off a little bit, don't punish them quite as hard, and it'll kind of give you a second little bit of life, because if you put too much heat in your tires, you're just in for a bad time.
That you are, as we go back to the second pack once again, and Greg McConey now leading. Actually, Scott Warren leading that second pack. They're coming up to Carl Klotz right now, and Klotz obviously is a couple of laps down, make that 5 laps down for the number 19, the one of only 2 Toyotas in the field. The other one is battling at the front right now, as we've got almost side-by-side action between Warren and McConey. These guys have been nigh on inseparable for the last, 4 to 5 laps now.
Yeah, absolutely. As Javon Cherry had a good run in the middle of 1 and 2 for the lead. Cedric Hunter able to keep it wound up on that top side, as here comes the 25 of Lowe's to the inside of Cherry, coming off of turn number 4. Little bit of a wiggle for the 25, and a little bit of contact coming through the quad oval.
Bit of bump draft in there, and you don't normally see that at Atlanta Motor Speedway, but we're seeing it right now as here comes Connor Trafari with a run on the 25 now, as Javon Cherry taking a low line again. Cedric Hunter opting for that Larson line.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that top lane really paying dividends for the driver of the 13. The Canadian doing his country proud right now, unlike the Montreal Canadiens. I said it.
So you can get your hate mail coming. That's Tony Trapasso at ESPN Towers, PO Box OU812. I mean,
I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I suppose.
But Cedric Hunter looking to carry an entire nation on his back right now as he's showing the way. The battle for second, though, hot and heavy. That's Cherry on the high side, Lowe's on the inside. And like we've seen all night long, Cherry able to defend on that second lane.
Yeah, and it's hard to believe that about 40 laps ago it was Cherry and Lowe's battling for the lead, as Cherry taking a very deep line. Hunter still opting for that Larson line, still working out for the 13 as he still stays out in front. But yeah, it's hard to believe that 40 laps ago Cherry and Lowe's were battling out for the lead. Now they're just battling out for second place, with Connor Trafari just sitting back and watching these guys. Just a second, as there goes Lowe's sideways out of 4.
That was a big wiggle for the 25 Great Clips. Chevy Camaro is able to get it collected as they're coming up on the lap car. That is the 98 of Shane Newens to put him a second lap down. Newens brushing the wall, coming through the middle of 2 as Jason Papp, first one in the top 10 to blink for new tires.
Actually, it's the second one. Brandon Wilson brought it down about 20 laps ago, but he's going to have much older tires now. But here comes Cedric Hunter across the line once again to lead another lap. We're on lap 91 of 160, well into the second half of this race. And while they're racing out, and while we're just getting ready for green flag pit stops as Jason Papp makes his way out of pit road, we're going to take our second break of the night as wow, we need to cool down here. We'll be right back. welcome back to the racing action here at Atlanta as we have a bit of a different dynamic to the field right now. Javon Cherry starting to fall away here on the field here at the front. He was fighting up in second place now. He's falling behind Connor Trafari here, Tony.
You got to think that trying to run that low line like he's been has completely burned the right side tires off as they're getting ready to start lap 50 on these tires. Now, granted, we did have about 5 laps under caution, but still, the tires have got to be just screaming for mercy right now. As you take a look at, Jason Papp, who was one of the first ones to bring it down out of the top 10 at the time, he's not having a good time of it where he is right now. As you take a look at the tire fall off for everybody else, you're looking at about a 2-second fall off between fresh rubber and what's on the cars right now, as Lowe's trying to make it happen for the lead right now, as it looks like Cherry may have backed off a little bit, tried to cool those tires down, as he is filling the rear view mirror of Connor Trafari for third.
Yeah, and Brandon Lowe's using that second life on his tires to really put Cedric Hunter under pressure, with pit stops looming though. They can't be pushing it too hard, otherwise with this new tyre model, and we can't really call it a new tyre model now because it's been out for a couple of years now, but they can suffer blowouts if they push those tyres too hard, and that's probably what Javon Cherry's realising right now. Doesn't want to push it too hard, otherwise he gets that unfortunate blowout, and it probably might pitch his car into a spin into the wall.
Well, that has to do with the new damage model that they rolled out at the start of this current iRacing season. You could have a lot of tire issues, but they didn't really give you a quote blowout until this current damage model. You could rip the tire off in a crash, but now they've got the tire degradation to the point where, you can tell when the tires have completely gone south and you're down on the inner liner, as you can't turn the car anymore.
Just looking a bit further back from the field, it's very strung out right now, as we're still seeing the battle in the top 4. As there comes Javon Cherry now, looking to the inside of Connor Trafari. This 4-car breakaway working in favour of these 4 drivers. Anybody else behind them, though, it's very strung out. Greg McConey still has Scott Warren for company, but it's not as close as it was before. Nick Kessler on an island completely all to himself right now. He's got a massive, pretty sizable lead over Cody Strom right now, and Ryan Worley, after that spin he had earlier on, about to be lapped on track by the lead pack. They are coming up very quickly behind him right now.
Yeah, absolutely, as the leaders can actually see him right now, and this is a very big change in dynamic, as Cedric Hunter took the low line going through 3 and 4. Brandon Lowe's took that second lane and really closed the gap on Hunter, as now they both run that third lane coming through 1 and 2, and this is somewhere they've got to be real careful. It's coming off of 2. There is that big bump that they've got to be real careful of when they try to lay the power back down.
And they do, as we're looking at this battle for the lead right now, and Lowe's looking for the high side now to try and breathe some more life into his tyres. That's let Javon Cherry get a bit of a draft there, and he's got around Connor Trafari, as Cody Strom is the next one into pit road. He's called it no mas. Big damage on that 26 though.
Can't say I blame him on that one. Is it full send it mode for Brandon Lowe's on the inside. Hunter trying to defend on the high side, trying to keep it wound up. Almost contact coming off of 2. Drag race into turn number 3. Lowe's wisely backing out of it. Discretion being the better part of valor, as he throws it to the inside one more time. Still side by side, has a little bit of a slip up in the middle of 1 and 2, and he's going to lose a spot to Javon Cherry coming off of 4.
Yeah, and Cherry now right on the back of Cedric Hunter, and he will right about him breathing new life into those tires, because he's got that life back once again. And Cherry looking to the inside of Hunter, coming out of turn 2. He might try and get the lead away here. Does not at this moment, as we've got a full sail pit stops going on right now. Nick Kessler the next one to bring it down.
Yeah, Kessler was not having a good time of it. Figured he tried to get the undercut on these guys, try to make up a little bit of lap time if he could. Meanwhile, Hunter, Cherry, and the lot all keep it out there, and they're working lap 58 on these tires, and the tires have just got to be screaming for mercy right now, as we've got 108 laps of 160 in the books. I dare say that these guys are trying to keep it out for a couple more laps and only make it on one more stop.
That would be the
there we go.
general idea. Is here comes Hunter to pit road. There it is.
So Hunter, the first one of that lead pack to peel off and call no mas to try to get for Mr. Feelgoods. Now the question is, how soon are the rest of them going to go down pit road to try to cut off this undercut that he's trying to get?
Oh no! He overshot his pit stall by a mile.
And Javon Cherry said that he's going to try to come pit side this time, as he's still got it wound up. So, no, he's not.
It's actually going to be Trafari into pit road, as Hunter's still in his pit stall. He's actually just coming out right now, but Hunter might be on the back foot here. He slid through his pit stall by quite a margin right now, as we're looking at Trafari bringing it down to pit road there, as he's wiggling the car down pit road. He might be almost out of fuel. As he gets into his pit stall nice and easy, as Kessler, for some reason, is still in his pit stall. I think he's got a penalty here in the 4.
I've seen stranger things happen.
Javon Cherry now in pit road for his pit stop. He finally does bring it down. And that's going to leave Brandon Lowe's out on track all by himself. Ryan Worley will surely move up to second place once he gets back round. But Javon Cherry now into his pit stall in that number 20 Toyota Care machine. Very nicely into his pit stall, I have to say. But we're going to focus on Brandon Lowe's now. How long will it be before he brings it in? Well, not very long, because he's coming in right now.
Yeah, I just went back and looked, and Trafari was not out of fuel. He was just looking down, trying to adjust his tires and whatnot. As effective race lead is going to go to Cedric Hunter, but Connor Trafari not that far behind him right now, as Hunter has his rearview mirrors filled with Nick Kessler, as Kessler currently sitting 3 laps down.
Yeah, not sure what happened to Kessler. He is back out, and that is actually Trafari with his mirrors full of Kessler. And Brandon Lowe's able to come out just... Wow, he got blocked by Ryan Worley there on the exit of pit road. Was not expecting that one. That's cost him a ton of spots.
Yeah, absolutely. Is Worley having some issues there, as 25 of Lowe's finally getting it up to speed. So there is definitely a gap from Connor Trafari back to Brandon Lowe's, as Greg Marconi was one of the first ones to peel off. Currently sits in the number 4 slot, about 3.5 seconds back from Lowe's. And he's got Scott Warren for company, as Marconi was able to jump Warren in the pits, as right now Connor Trafari getting a little bit larger and a little bit larger in the rearview mirror of the 13 of Cedric Hunter, for currently sitting in the number 2 spot.
Yeah, and I bet you the fans and everybody else are wondering what happened to Javon Cherry. Well, I can tell you, caught speeding in 54 seconds in his pit stall, 1 minute and 23 seconds in and out of pit road. Javon Cherry, because of that penalty, barring a caution, has pretty much thrown this race away now.
And that's what you call shooting yourself in the foot. Definitely not the night he was hoping for. Had a great run going, and that's all it takes is one mistake on pit road under green flag conditions, and you screwed yourself. Had it been under caution, yeah, it wouldn't quite have been as bad. But still, that's not what he was hoping for at this point in time, because we are quickly running out of time in this race, as we are inside 45 to go.
That we are. We are literally 45 to go. It's going to be 44 at the line as they're coming around Cody Strong to put a lap on him. Are the leaders, and here comes Connor Trafari. Just saw a gap there, and Cedric Hunter thinks, nah, you're not having that. Shuts the door right in his face.
Absolutely cuts off the run that Trifari had. And for being a young gunner like he is, Trifari has a lot of racecraft and knows when it's time to go and when it's time not to go. As right now, he's got Nick Kessler in lockstep with him for some help. Cedric Hunter on an island all by himself as far as a Ford with two Chevys sitting right there in that little breakaway that they've got going on, as there is a huge gap all the way back to third place, Brandon Lowe's.
Yeah, and Lowe's, if he didn't get caught up behind Ryan Worley on the exit of the pit road, what could have been for the number 25, he might have been a little bit closer, but unfortunately did not pan out for him that way, and now has to play catch-up once again.
New leader.
As we do have a new leader, Connor Trifari, finally getting the job done on Cedric Hunter.
Trifari making it happen on the exit, or in the middle of 3 and 4, as fresh tires make you feel like Superman. And Trifari was able to make it stick coming off of 4, as he now has Nick Kessler between himself and Cedric Hunter, as Hunter just kind of riding right now, knows that there's plenty of racing left to do, just needs to keep in pace with the 48 of Trifari.
Yeah, and it's an interesting thing to point out that at the age of 15 years old, Connor Trifari is by and far away the youngest ever iRacing E-Series champion. Probably one of the youngest champions on the iRacing service period. So has definitely got a good future ahead of him in that 48 machine, and we'll be looking forward to see what he can bring in the future. But already a champion at the age of 15, very impressive so far.
Yeah, absolutely. In one of the toughest leagues in all of iRacing. You're talking about the Super Speedway Series, and those guys race a different car every week, and that's not easy to do.
No, it's not. As Trifari now starting to get away from Hunter. Hunter probably going to be saving those tires. We still have 40 laps to go. Make that 39 at the line. Brandon Lowe's is starting to close that gap as well, I will mention. He does have help from Ryan Worley, and Worley probably trying to pay him back for the incident on the exit of the pit road, so very well done. Discretion being the better part of valor for the 00, but there is extra incentive there for Ryan Worley. If he can stay with the 25 of Brandon Lowe's, there might be a chance he might be able to get his lap back the hard way, and he's literally the first driver 1 lap down.
Yeah, absolutely, as there is a 4.5 second gap from Worley back to the next car 1 or more laps down, and that's for Cody Strom in the 26. As Strom has he's had a better showing here tonight than he did at his debut last week, showing that he's got a little more oval prowess than he did road racing prowess.
Yeah, currently sitting P8 right now, having a very good race, and he's ahead of Javon Cherry. And now Cherry does have the better speed than Cody Strom, and this battle will be for position once Cherry gets to him. As Brandon Wilson, Wilson, big incident into pit road there, Tony.
Wow, just completely locks him up coming to the commitment cone, and just tags that inside wall. Luckily we stay green because he was in a pit box, and there goes the caution.
Yep, yellow flag is out now, and we and it's Ryan
Worley.
Let's go back and take a look, and it was Hunter into the wall, and Worley had nowhere to go, so wow, that was all Cedric Hunter started that one.
No, it wasn't. Actually, no, it wasn't. That was Brandon Lowe's caught Hunter. I mean, yes, Hunter was having a little bit of an issue. He was down on speed just a little bit, as Lowe's looks to the inside, going through the middle of 1 and 2, coming off at 2, just throws the hip check, and bang, into the boards goes Hunter, and unfortunately Worley, race car to the face.
Yeah, unfortunately a passenger in that one. Thankfully for Cedric Hunter, he does have a fast repair in his pocket, so he can go away and get that done, and he will keep his spot on the lead lap. Javon Cherry probably not going to be the lucky one here, as Cody Strom will get the lucky dog in this one. As we got more wholesale pit stops going on. Connor Trafari is in pit road along with Brandon Lowe, Cedric Hunter, naturally, Greg McConey and Scott Warren.
Now, I got to give him flack for this one, but Ryan, that probably wouldn't have happened if you had driven the new paint scheme tonight.
Yeah.
But, yeah, wholesale pit stops happening. This is probably, barring a handful of cautions, this is probably going to be the money stop for a lot of these guys, as Strom, Cherry, Pap, and Wilson all electing to stay out to get the wave around to get back on the lead lap.
Well, Strom just got his lucky dog, so he's definitely back on the lead lap, and we'll have that free pit stop to make. And if he hasn't burned his fast repair already, I should recommend that he makes it, because he's got some pretty heavy right side damage on his car. Yeah,
absolutely. As looks like Worley's already burned his fast repairs, so he's going to be doing some pit farming here to try to finish the race, completely missing the nose piece of that Ford Mustang. As there goes Wilson back onto pit road to try to get some damage fixed on the 501, as Strom makes his stop after getting the free pass.
And he does. He brings that Sunoco number 26 into pit road. And I'm guessing he might have already burned a fast repair there, because I didn't see that car become clean again. So unfortunately, Strom going to have to deal with that car as it is for the remainder of the race. But doesn't seem to be bothering him too much, as he's been able to carry quite a bit of speed in that number 26.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had a good showing here at Atlanta. And again, don't let last week's debut at Road America, sway you for your, opinion of that young man. Definitely showing a lot more oval prowess than he did trying to turn right and left. But then again, Road America, one of the more difficult technical tracks to get around.
That it is, as we're waiting for the lights to go off on the pace car. We're just coming through turn 4 right now, and Nick Kessler, Javon Cherry, Jason Papp, and that's it. We'll be looking for a wave around. I did see Shane Newens up there. He was looking for a wave around, but he decided to bring it down pit road for an extra pit stop, so he's just taking that right now. Retirement so far tonight. Pretty sizable retirement list, unfortunately. Frank Marchese not starting. JD Woodward losing connection. Actually, he said his computer froze up, so that was what ended his night. Mark McFadden out of this race. Greg LeBlanc retiring. Elijah Innes and Carl Klotz out. Shane Newens, the 12th runner and last runner on the track right now.
And if you're Jason Papp right now, you've got to be hoping for a quick caution, as he's 38 laps on his tires.
Yeah.
So those things have got to be screaming for mercy right now, as it looks like Cedric Hunter going to be restarting behind Connor Trafari. Brandon Lowe's going to be starting outside row 1. Greg Marconi, the highest we've seen him yet tonight, sitting in the number 4 slot on that outside of row number 2. So good on you, Greg, for perseverance and getting back up there.
Absolutely, as we're ready to go racing once again, and Kessler and Newens trying to get things figured out right here as we are ready to go. Pace car will make the left turn on towards pit road. We're going to go racing on lap 129 of 160, just over 30 laps to go, so let's get it on. Let's bring this to the end as they get it going once again, and a great restart there by Brandon Lowe as they head off towards turn 1.
In that second lane, looks like that might be where all the rubber is laid down on the exit 4. And Lowe's was able to lay the power down a little bit better than Connor Trafari was, but now Lowe's has to deal with the 13 of Cedric Hunter, as Trafari drops down to pick up Hunter going into 3, side by side for second place.
Right, run by Trafari, picking up the 13 as they come out of turn 4, down towards the line here. And you see, Brandon Wilson is back there. He's a lap down, but wants that lap back the hard way, working hard on the back of Scott Warren right now, side by side though, between Brandon Lowe and Greg McConey. McConey looking for a podium out of this one.
Absolutely. As again, this is the highest we've seen Marconi all night. He was struggling early on as Lowe's has him covered going into 3. And here comes Hunter on the inside of Trafari off of 4.
Yeah, Hunter looking for that lead back. He was severely damaged bringing out that last caution, but still he managed to get that fast repair and is now able to keep it up there and fight for the lead. He doesn't quite have the run on Jafari right now. The exit of turn 2, that high lane again being the favourable line for a lot of drivers, and Hunter usually the one on that outside line, but just being stuck down there right now. Does have a nose out in front, but needs to be careful. Doesn't want to burn off those tyres too early.
Yeah, absolutely. As we are 30 to go, going to be 29 to go this time across the stripe. Trafari still with the nose out front. Hunter almost contact going into 1. Has to back out of it. That's going to let Brendan Lowe's come back into the picture here as top 5 in a breakaway right now. Huge gap from Greg Marconi in 5th back to Javon Cherry in 6th, who is back on the lead lap, though he's got 14 lap older tires, and you can tell.
Yeah, you definitely can tell. He's completely fallen off the back of Marconi, and Marconi still working on the back of Scott Warren right now. Warren working on the back of Brandon Lowe's, and Hunter still looking for that lead back once again. And it's been great battling for him and Trafari. Actually, great battling from everybody here tonight. I've been very impressed with this race so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been hard racing, but it's been clean racing all night long. Nobody's done anything really crazy or stupid. And, we haven't had a caution fest, which can happen here at Atlanta. I mean, this track is notorious for being very difficult to get around, but everybody doing a great job. If they see the guy around him starting to get a little bit squirrely, they give him room to let him collect it and live to race another day.
And we just saw that from Connor Trafari. Got very squirrely coming out of turn 2, and there was that respect that you was talking about just a second ago there, Tony. Cedric Hunter giving him plenty of room to collect it back up and carry on racing.
As Hunter had the lead at the stripe that time, 8/1000ths of a second, basically the distance from the tip of the front bumper to the start of the front wheel opening. That's how close that one was at the stripe for those two, as they're still in lockstep going into 3.
That they are side by side coming through 3 and 4. Who's going to come out on top in this one? Looks like Hunter might have the better speed, but Trafari has the better line as they come down to the line. Dead he hit the line, but give that one to Hunter by a nose.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they got to go out to the 5th decimal point on that one, as they were completely side by side. That's one of those ones that we've seen finishes like, as Hunter with a nose out front, a little bit of a wiggle coming off a 2, almost contact as he has to chase down the track to stay off of Trafari, as Trafari able to keep it wound up in that second lane. But Hunter, you got to think, has got to be wanting to get to that outside as quickly as he can, as right now Brandon Lowe's in lockstep with these guys, and here comes Marconi for 3rd.
Yeah, Marconi having a bit of a nice run there to the inside of Brandon Lowe's. Warren has fallen back slightly, probably taking a bit of air to those tyres there and to that engine in the 76s. Marconi going right to the back of Brandon Lowe's, doing a bit of bump drafting and towards turn 3. Didn't really work out for him, but still right there, as well as Warren now picks up hits the loud pedal once again.
Absolutely, as we're seeing Warren able to defend on that high lane, as the 25 of Lowe's up there as well. So that second lane, they're starting to get the rubber laid down. They're starting to get to the point in this tire run where that inside lane is really just punishing the right side tires, as those tires are going to be screaming for no mas as we are quickly approaching 20 to go.
That we are as they come through the quad oval. 22 to go now at Atlanta. Connor Trafari is still your leader. Look at Brandon Lowe's looking down that outside of Cedric Hunter. Now Hunter dipping a wheel on the apron there, probably going to slow your car down ever so slightly, but for Cedric Hunter it doesn't do a slightest bit of damage at all, although yeah, it does lose a bit of speed up the backstretch, because Brandon Lowe's just went sailing around the outside there.
Yeah, absolutely. If you touch the apron here at Atlanta, it will really loosen the car up, and these guys have already been fighting a loose condition on corner exit, so Hunter really losing all the momentum that he needed, as right now Scott Warren throws it to the outside on Brandon Lowe's coming through turns 2, as that's Warren on the high side up into the number 2 slot, and he's bringing Hunter with him.
Yeah, Cedric Hunter falling back to third, but Scott Warren crucially up to second place now. Was going to be looking on the outside of Trafari. Trafari goes up to defend there against Scott Warren. That's going to let Cedric Hunter to the inside of the 76 now as they head in towards turn 1. 20 laps to go in this one. They are running out of time if they want to make these moves.
Yeah, absolutely. As Hunter using a lane that we haven't seen him use all night long. He was on the extreme low side. Warren was on the extreme high side, and Connor Trafari was somewhere in the middle going through turn 2. And we see that Trafari able to maintain that lead as Hunter now has to deal with the 12 of Marconi for the final step on the podium.
Yeah, Marconi going to sail around the outside of Hunter. Does get the position away. Great move there by the 12 as here comes Brandon Lowe's on Cedric Hunter as well. You've got to be thinking that at 13 is in trouble. And speaking of trouble, there goes Trafari hard into the wall.
Wow, that was a big hit, and he just hemorrhaged spots. Last car in the top 5 is Scott Warren takes over the lead, and here comes Marconi on the inside coming off of 4.
Big head of speed there by Marconi, who's looking for that lead. Warren wants it more. Obviously, like I said before, has not won a race since Daytona. Cedric Hunter would love a race win it. Big sideways moment for Hunter, though. That's let Brandon Lowe's in now, and it's become a 4-horse battle for the race win here. I don't think Trafari has now got the speed in that car to keep up with these guys.
Absolutely not. He's completely pancaked the right side of the number 48. But right now, if you're in Dearborn, Michigan, you are cheering your head off right now, as it was forward for a second there with Marconi in third, as Lowe's able to wrestle the spot away from him. Marconi trying to back up to get another run at him, as, wow, that was close.
Yeah, another coat of paint. They'd have been all over that wall right there, as here comes Cedric Hunter now looking to the inside of Warren. Warren leading this race. It's a Canadian 1, 2, 3 right now. Scott Warren, Cedric Hunter, and Brandon Lowe's really showing what the Canadians are made of, as Warren leads it across the line once again. 16 laps to go here in Atlanta.
Absolutely, as Hunter with a nose out front in the middle of 1 and 2. Warren able to keep it wound up on the top side, and we've got smoke on the back straightaway. That's Ryan Worley.
It was Ryan Worley. Let's take a look and see what's happened here to the 00. And wow, he just lost it coming out of turn 2, and that's a big hit there by the 00.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be the end of his night right now, as it's going to give him a 12th place finish. Shane Newens currently 1 lap behind him, but still running. So it's going to take a long night and make it even longer for Worley, as right now the battle rage is on for first. That's Lowe's on the inside, Warren on the high side. Both these guys just willing to try to get the car to the finish, as Warren almost gets into the front stretch wall.
And he does, and look at the gap they've pulled over Cedric Hunter as well. Hunter has completely fallen off. I wonder if Hunter and Marconi are regrouping for a final attack here, because those two Mustangs are completely fallen off the back of Lowe's and Warren. As here comes Hunter once again. I was exactly right. There's Hunter now looking to the back of Lowe's.
Yeah, absolutely. There's 21 laps since the last time they put fresh rubber on the cars, as Lowe's looks to the inside of Warren. Full center number 1. He has the spot. He has the clear. Can he keep the clear? And yes, he does. Cuts Warren off coming off a 2. And Warren now has to deal with Hunter, as Shane Newens off pace going down the back straightaway.
Yeah, as we are working with 13 laps to go, make that 12 to go at the line. It is just that close, and anyone could claim the win out of anybody in this top 4. Marconi might be a few car lengths back, but he can still come back and win this one. It's just anybody's game at this point. In that top 4, not anymore, as Cedric Hunter and Scott Warren go for a ride.
was a big moment coming off of 2, and Warren still doesn't have that car collected.
Yeah, and we stay green as well. And they get it going. Oh, Hunter not happy with that one. He gives Warren a bit of a tap there.
Well, Warren tagged the wall on the exit of 2, and just Hunter absolutely nowhere to go. As that's really given a huge gap. As Connor Trafari back onto the podium safely right now. Greg Marconi sits in the number 2 slot. Just about 7 car lengths. It make that 8 car lengths back off of Brandon Lowe's right now. And losing a little bit of time. So Marconi not having a good time right now, as he's got the lap car of Wilson sitting behind him. But look who's back into the top 5. That would be the 20 of Javon Cherry. And Jason Papp finally runs out of fuel, takes down pit road.
Yeah, and Cherry will be happy to see himself back in the top 4 as it seems now. Cedric Hunter still looking to claim a top 5 here, despite that incident that literally a couple of laps ago. He's currently sitting in P5 as there goes Cody Strom going sideways. He's trying to save it still as he's going to go almost through the grass there. Strom, wow, that was a scary moment there for the 26.
Yeah, absolutely is. If you're Scott Warren right now, you got to be counting your lucky stars that he didn't come back up the racetrack harder than he did. Gave Warren a hole to get through, and we stay clean and green as we are inside 10 to go.
Now we are 8 laps to go, and Brandon Lowe's will be thinking at the end of this one, it couldn't have come at a better time. That incident between Cedric Hunter and Scott Warren really opening things up for him as he gets a big lead over Greg Marconi. Now the gap is over 1 second. Marconi no longer has the draft of that number 25. Lowe's, as long as he can keep it on the black stuff now, can bring it home to victory lane.
Well, provided we don't get what we've seen in the past, and that is the dread C word, that could still rear its ugly head as these guys do go green-white checker if needed. But Lowe's in command of this one right now. A little bit of a wiggle in the middle of 1 and 2. Able to keep it collected, though, and still stretching his legs over Greg Marconi, who sits in second. 7.5 seconds to the good over a very wounded Connor Trafari.
And Trafari is losing time to Javon Cherry very quickly. And Cherry is using Nick Kessler as a pick as well to use that draft off the 4 to close the gap now, and Cherry opts into get around him. Cherry needs to be careful as well. Remember, he's on much older tyres than everybody else, and look who's creeping up right behind him. Cedric Hunter is not done with this one.
No, he's not, but I can pretty much promise you that there are going to be penalties handed out after this one, because there's a lot of in-sim jibber-jabber going on right now, and a couple of drivers not happy with each other, and open comms is definitely against league rules.
Absolutely, yeah, it is, as Brandon Lowe's only has 4.5 laps left to get it done here, as Marconi can't close that gap right now. The gap is still actually expanding up to 1.27 now is the gap as Trafari gets past. Oh, Trafari's had a big incident here.
Yeah, he has. That car is even more damaged than it was. As Javon Cherry able to get by him.
Wow. Yeah, that was
4 laps to go.
Yeah, that was a big hit into the wall for Trafari out of 2. As yet, 4 laps to go. We're coming to 3 laps to go here now as they come down, as Lowe's comes down across the line, and this will be his first race win, his first official race win of the season. He won the All-Star race at Texas a few weeks ago, but this one will be the one that counts here tonight, Tony. The one that gives him all the bonus points and gives him that free ticket into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was kind of to be expected. After that good run at Texas, Lowe's is proving to be a 1.5 mile specialist, as right now he's just legging it out right now over Greg Marconi. as they come across the line for popsicle sticks in the air, as you would say, Sam.
Absolutely, 2 laps to go here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and it's this man that's been controlling it since the incident between Cedric Hunter and Scott Warren. Put him way out in the lead. Greg McConey probably going to be happy with second place considering where he started, and Javon Cherry going to be delighted with getting third place back. Probably not going to be happy with how he ended up back there, but still going to be happy with the recovery right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, great recovery run, especially on some of the oldest tires on track right now. As white flag in the air, 1.5 miles to go for Brandon Lowe's. All he's got to do is keep it dirty side down and not do anything crazy, as he has taken the white flag. So this is it here as they walk their way down the back straightaway for the final time. Lowe's in command.
And he is as he makes his way through turns 3 and 4, and it was owing to an incident by his 2 compatriots that gave him this one, but he'll take it anyway as Brandon Lowe's crosses the line and wins at Atlanta Motor Speedway and books his way into the playoffs.
Excellent run for Lowe's, been running up front all night long. Greg Marconi, not the initial start he was hoping for, but all things considered, can't be too disappointed with a podium finish. Javon Cherry able to rebound after getting that pit road speeding penalty for third, and Cedric Hunter able to rebound for fourth.
Yeah, Warren going to get P5, and Warren probably trying a few post-race antics right there. On Cedric Hunter, but we'll not get into that one, as Strong going to cross the line for P6. Great result for him, considering how upset he was with last week's result. Brandon Wilson going to get P7. Connor Trafari, heartbreak for him at the end, going to be P8. P9 to Nick Kessler, and Jason Papp will round out your top 10 here at Atlanta. Right, we're going to go straight to Brandon Lowe's, who's doing his about to do his burnouts right now. And rightly so, very well deserved for that number 25. And we should get interviews underway in just a second, but Tony, a great race altogether.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a very solid run for a lot of guys. Not the night they were hoping for some others. Mistakes happened all throughout the field all night long, but the one thing that it has been a common theme with this next gen car is if you're able to work that second lane, you're able to defend quite heavily against anybody trying to go to your inside, and that's something that we're probably going to see for the remainder of the season, as that second lane, it seems to be working in this car.
Absolutely. And we're just waiting for Brandon Lowe's to finish his burnouts before we can bring him up for an interview, as very incident-filled race here at Atlanta. Obviously, we've seen a fair share of cautions here tonight. Some incidents that didn't cause cautions, though, and put people a lot further back than planned and didn't get that chance to recover. But next week, though, Tony, we are off to the northeast coast as we are heading to Loudon and New Hampshire Speedway.
Yeah, absolutely. As the last time I was at Loudon, they showed what the race winner's lobster looked like, and that damn thing had claws bigger than my foot.
Yeah, the northeast, obviously New Hampshire, Maine, all of those states up that way, very well known for their lobsters. And I'm not a fan of lobster myself, but I've heard a lot of people like them, so I can't argue. So
not a fan. It's got you're gonna laugh at me when I say this, but it's too fishy a taste for my liking.
Well, considering it's fish, I mean.
Yeah, no. But what I'm saying is, it's got a gamey taste to it almost. Like some people don't like venison for the same reason that it's got just that gamey taste to it. Give me a nice piece of haddock any day, and I'll be a happy camper.
Nice bit of cod for me. I'm happy with cod. But anyway,
whitefish is whitefish.
Yeah, it's probably the most common of fish out there. Anyway, let's go straight to the interviews for this one, as we are going to go looking for our race winner, if I can find him, but I can't. Oh, there he is. As we're going to bring him down to the booth right now. And Tony, I believe you have our race winner with you.
Brandon Lowe's, after winning the All-Star race at Texas, kind of got to say that we were expecting you to do well here tonight. But after setting quick time in qualifying, did you know you had it?
I mean, the car was fast stalled all race long. First off, I gotta apologize to Cedric. We kind of talked here and there for a second, but that was completely my fault off to turn 2 there. I think with 30 to go, I just misjudged where he was on the track. But after running that qualifying time, car was fast, and it was all about keeping the tires on it as the race went on. So if you could do that, you were going to be pretty quick.
How difficult was it to make moves, especially considering that inside lane looked like it would burn the right front off faster than anything else?
Yeah, man. This track, man, I'm so sad to see this track get torn up, but because it is, it's definitely my favorite track. But it is such a rough surface, and you gotta really pedal it. We're probably, flat out lifting a little bit for the first 12, 13 laps, and then after that you could start feeling it kick out a little bit, center off, and then as the track moves up and spreads out, then you're just searching for grip, which there is not much here. So you gotta work that pedal like an eggshell type thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw a lot of guys have to chase it down the hill on the exit of 2. How bad does that bump affect these new cars?
It's not bad. I mean, these cars, they're pretty good over bumps. They're really smooth. It's actually really hard to feel bumps in these cars, in the steering wheel type thing. And, you just gotta, put it in there and hope it sticks, right? So that's what you gotta do.
All right, Brandon, we go from the 1.5 miles here to the, at Atlanta to the Miracle Mile in Loudon, New Hampshire next week. Your thoughts going from the high banks here to the relatively flat surface there?
Yeah, I mean, that track is a completely different animal. I haven't tried it with this next gen car, but from my experience, a lot more braking. Using the gas pedal to make the car turn in the center. So completely different skill set when it comes from this track to the next. So looking forward to it.
All right. Well, Brandon, before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank for tonight's victory?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for the broadcast. Thanks to Rowdy Energy, Circle B Diecast, iRacing, iFlag, Butt Kicker, Midwest Motors Customs for sponsoring the series. Thanks to all the admins. And we had great clips on the car this week, so thanks to them. Thanks to Chevrolet. Thanks to my teammate, Javon Cherry. And we will see you guys in New Hampshire.
All right. Brandon, again, congratulations. We'll see you next week. Best of luck to you then.
Thanks, guys.
So that was Brandon Lowe's joining us in the booth from Victory Lane. Now joining me from second place, if I can find him again, because no one's sitting in the interview waiting room.
Got him.
I've got him as well. Oh, god damn it. I just moved into another room. As now joining me in the booth from second place is the man that probably had the most stable race of everybody out there tonight. Greg, second place on the night, another podium for you. So I've got to be happy with the result after this one.
Yeah, I am, especially after getting caught up in that wreck, early on in the race. Had to burn the fast repair. Wasn't looking to run hard for a while, but kind of as this race went on, we were able to save enough tire to kind of run ourselves back. A little pit strategy under the green flag got us back again, but gave us a shot at the end. Just didn't have enough tire left to catch them. This thing was loose all night. So you say stable and steady. I was sliding this thing around like it was nobody's business.
Yeah, I mean, it was very difficult. In any car, it's a very difficult track to negotiate. Obviously, that right front tyre always likes to get burnt off. It seems like it's the same case in this next-gen car. What we having to do in that car to try and minimise the tyre damage around here tonight?
Well, for me, I was lifting early and kind of playing the throttle through the center. But my biggest problem all night is I was loose as could be off. I couldn't do anything coming off the corners for a while, but finally changed my line, figured something out to save save the right rear for me, and I actually did all right.
Yeah. Greg, another second place on the night for you tonight. Going to give you a lot more bonus points heading into the playoffs, which is getting ever closer now. It's only a couple of weeks away. But next week we head to a completely different dynamic as we head up to the Northeast and New Hampshire. What are your thoughts heading into that one next time?
You started chopping in and out there, but I know I heard New Hampshire next week.
Yeah.
A home track, I guess, in a sense. I'm originally, well, I say that, grew up in Massachusetts, so New Hampshire, sadly.
We won't hold that against you.
I know. Not my favorite track at New Hampshire. Flat track, very technical, just not my my favorite style of racing. But, we'll go in, see what happens, and hopefully we can pull out another good finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be a fun track there. Very flat compared to what we had to deal with tonight. But Greg, good. Another podium for you on the night, and very much congratulations to yourself. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before I let you go and celebrate?
Yeah, I got to thank Rowdy Energy, Circle B, iRacing, iFlag, Butt Kicker, Midwest Motor Customs. I'm going to thank you guys. You guys put on a great show every week. Can't wait to go back and watch it. Thanks to Jason for all that he's done putting this league together. I'll shout out to the wife, the baby, the rest of the family that's watching. Glad we put on a good show. Glad we had a good race tonight, and let's see what we can do next week at the flat tracks.
All right. Well, Greg McConaughey, congratulations one more time in the second place. Go and get yourself some rest, and we'll catch you next week when we head to Loudon. Will do. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Tony. See you guys.
And Greg, don't go too far because I got questions after the broadcast is over.
Sure.
That was Greg McConaughey joining us from second place here in the booth. Now joining Tony from third place is one very relieved Mr. Jovan Cherry.
Jovan Cherry, all things considered, you can't be too disappointed with a third place finish, especially after what happened under that green flag pit stop.
Yeah, it was pretty disappointing at first, having to sit there for a long 40 seconds. But, it was my fault. I threw it away entering pit road. But, I was really happy we were able to get that caution there at the end. That really was able to help us come back. And then we were hoping we were going to get another quick one with like 3 different people wrecking there, but somehow they didn't throw the yellow. So it was a good run at the end of the day, able to come home third. So I can't be too disappointed.
Well, they were trying to give you the caution you needed, but unfortunately for you, the caution didn't come out. But again, talk us through just how difficult it was as we saw you go side by side with Lowe's, Hunter. We saw you go side by side with a lot of guys up towards the front all night long. And how difficult was it to really make the pass happen?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. On new tires, it's really hard because everybody's got the same speed. But then about 15 laps into it, the car just wants to start stepping out. Even when you have the clean air, you just have to start playing with it. And then as the run goes on, you're just loose and tight at the same time. Cedric was doing a really good job running the high side in 1 and the bottom in 3 because those were the preferred lanes. So it made it really tough. You really had to try to throw the car into 1 to try to do something with it, and then possibly get a good run off of 4 so you could do that into it. But this car track combo was really good. The track was really what was making the cars really fun to drive. And the good drivers were just able to make something happen with all of that.
Now, Speedway Enterprises announced that after this past Sunday's race in the real world, that's the last time we're going to see this surface in the real world. iRacing most likely going to rescan once the pave is done. Are you one of the drivers that's going to miss the old pavement here?
Yeah, 100%. This track combo is really good. It really makes you have to play with the throttle, really makes you have to actually drive the car. Compared to when we went to Charlotte, there wasn't really much you needed to do. This one, you just have to really play with it. and the car will come to you, and then that's where you get your fun racing from. Once they mess with this track, it's not going to be anywhere near as fun as the old one. So I'm definitely going to miss the this old Atlanta. Really glad I was able to get a third place here for the final time.
Well, we changed gears completely, going from the high banks here at Atlanta to the relatively flat surface that is Loudon, New Hampshire next week. Your thoughts going into the Miracle Mile?
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of New Hampshire. It's just one of those tracks. For me, it's just kind of technical. I'm just not a big mile track guy. So going here was really fun. I'm glad I was able to get a good finish because I know next week I'm not really going to be able to do too much there. But yeah, well, I guess we'll just see. Anything's possible, I guess.
All right, Javon, good to have you back with us. Is there anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to you guys in the booth for putting on a good broadcast. I know you guys had a lot of fun up there watching all of us put on a great show. I want to thank Rowdy Energy, Circle B Diecast, iRacing iFlag, Butt Kicker, Midwest Motor Customs for sponsoring us. Shout out to Cedric. Really unfortunate what happened to him. He was really up there. Thought he was going to be one of the good guys that could win that one. Shout out to Brandon. Good job for him. Seeing him win that race, really happy for him. And everybody else for just putting on a really good show up front. That was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Is again, Dream Team Inc. able to go 1-3 tonight. So congratulations on your team for that. Looking forward to seeing you next week at Loudon. Best of luck to you then.
Thank you, sir.
So that was Javon Cherry joining us from third place here at Atlanta. Tony, again, next week we're off to New Hampshire. Very different dynamic. Really going to have to use your thinking cap for that one. Definitely going to be a lot of strategies thrown in it as well. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, New Hampshire is one of those tracks that it's not easy to get around. I mean, it looks relatively simple, but the way you have to drive that track is different from every other track we go to. And you need to nail the setup, because if you're off by just the teensiest little bit, you're going to have a real long night. But getting back to something that Javon Cherry mentioned, the fact that they're going to be repaving Atlanta Motor Speedway, the character to this track is going to be lost for about 10 years until the new pavement gets worn in. So we're probably not going to see the type of action that we saw tonight anytime in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, the last time a track had a major repavement and remodeling was Texas a couple of years ago, and since that new surface and new corner configuration has come into play, it's become a really fun track. I am hoping that this new surface for Atlanta will create the same kind of atmosphere, because Texas is such a fun track now.
Yeah, but it took Texas, a good 6-7 seasons before that track really started to come around to where you could get side-by-side racing. For the longest time, it was just a one-groove track, and you really had to move somebody out of the way to get by them.
Yeah, and hopefully it doesn't take that long for Atlanta to get into play. But anyway, great racing all around, and it's going to be sad to see the surface go, but we'll be moving on to new ventures when we come to the new pavement, hopefully next season when the series returns. But for now, let's go to the results for tonight's race. And coming home with the race victory was one Mr. Brandon Lowe's. A great result for him, and that will punch his ticket into the playoffs later on in the season. Greg McConey coming home, another podium for him. He gets second place, and Javon Cherry, great recovery for him, gets P3. Cedric Hunter and Scott Warren fourth and fifth, probably under investigation after a bit of a late race incident between themselves, but still going to top five regardless. Cody Strom will get P6, a great result for him after the disaster that was Road America last week. Brandon Wilson rebounded from P7. Connor Trapari, heartbreak for him in P8. Nick Kessler, who had such a good start, just fell back through the race, comes home in P9. And Jason Papp rounds out your top 10 here, Tony.
Ryan Worley able to hang on for 11th. Shane Newens in 12th. 13th goes to Kyle Klotz. Elijah Innes, not the night he was hoping for, coming home in 14th. Greg LeBlanc in 15th. Mark McFadden, after a disastrous night, coming home in 16th. And J.D. Woodward, after having computer issues, coming home in 17th. Frank Marchese having connection issues. Thank you, Cox Communications, coming home in 18th.
And that will be your field for this one. Coming up in the next couple of days, we have more racing action for you. Tomorrow we have a double dip for you, as tomorrow we are off to Summit Point for the UK Sim Racing MX-5 Pro Series, and then later on in the night we have the MX-5. We have Western States as they head to Texas Motor Speedway. On Wednesday we have the Pony Express Sim Racers Pony Express Endurance for Amateurs as they head to Road Atlanta. And then later that night, I know Tony's excited for this one, the return of the Sim Racers Edge Alpha Series as they head to Michigan for the first race of their season. Thursday we return for the TNT Truck Series as they head to Eldora for that one, and I know Tony, you're excited for that one again. On Saturday we have the E-Formula Series as they head to Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix, and then that'll do it for the remainder of the week. But that is going to do it for us here tonight. All that's left for me to say from myself, Sam Bennett, and from my broadcast partner, Tony Trapasso, keep it green, keep it green. We will catch you tomorrow for more in live action racing. Have a good night.